Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be hearing from a person who is looking to switch careers and is interested in going back to school for possibly an MBA. They've been working in an hourly role for over 10 years, and though they do have a bachelor's degree in psychology, they don't really feel like they use it. And they clearly state that college for them was basically a way for them to kind of learn critical thinking skills and problem solving, but not for much else. So let's go ahead and get into it and hear what they have to say. So I'm in my later 30s, and I've been working in either quality control or production scheduling at electronics technology manufacturing company for the last 11 or 12 years. Not because I have any special training in it, but because this is where I've landed. I get paid better than a lot of people I work with, but it's still relatively low hourly pay. I do have a BA in psychology, but I haven't used it at all, and I graduated over 10 years ago. I went to college without any clear idea at all about what I wanted to do with my life, and I picked psychology because I thought it was interesting, especially the way people behave in groups. I enjoyed statistics and working on designing studies and collecting data. However, I had no plan or vision on how to use it, and at this point, I'm not too interested in pursuing it anymore. College was good for teaching me critical thinking skills and problem solving, but I haven't used it for much else. None of my jobs have required a college degree, but my current job prefers it, despite the low pay. I've been talking for years about going back to school to become an RN social worker, case management, but I'm rethinking that because of some recent health problems that may cause issues with the more physical aspects of nursing school. In the meantime, my husband has been talking to me about how I could go into the more analytical side of business, since I'm always talking about needing better ways to plan and make decisions at work. He suggested I do boot camps for basic programming or data analysis or whatever to learn new skills. I have zero experience in either, and I've also been considering an MBA because business analytics seems like it might be something I'd be good at. MBAs are expensive though, and if I put time and money into it, I'd really want it to be worth it. What I'm really worried about is doing nothing to acquire new skills I can put on paper and end up getting stuck in lower paying jobs forever. I'd really like to have a career in a particular field rather than a lifetime of random lower paying jobs in this or that. Nothing wrong with that if that's your bag, I'm just not judging. Basically, I just need advice or insight into whether MBAs are worth it, or if there are other ways to make myself more valuable in the job market. Or if anybody has any other ideas, I'm excited to hear them. If you got this far, thank you for reading. So I definitely think you're on the right track with your thought towards getting an MBA. I'm actually really glad to hear that you're aspiring to going back to school for more than just another bachelor's degree, which is a trap I find a lot of people kind of falling into. Another option to consider is an MPA, which is a master's in public affairs or a master's in public administration. Different schools have different types of MPA degrees. You just kind of got to figure out which one is which. But in either case, both of those can be very similar to an MBA, but public affairs or administration master's focuses on a little bit different things. So an administration master's focuses on public sector and nonprofit administration, whereas a public affairs master's focuses on things more like government policy or community development and things like that. So I did a public affairs master's, and in a way it was kind of similar to an MBA in that we took statistics, leadership, research, business analytics, and things like that, which are some things that sound like they'd really interest you. So really the difference is you learn a lot of the same things. You're just focusing on other fields than a business administration degree would. Another reason you might really like the Masters of Public Affairs or Public Administration programs is that they normally require a specific amount of professional experience before you can even be accepted into the program. So they're built for working professionals. So in my case, the program I applied to required a minimum, I think it was, of 10 years of a professional experience you needed to have before you were even able to apply to the program. Some places I know it's at least 7 years. So the thing is, the nice part about it is you're gonna be a professional, but you're not stuck with like 23-year-olds in class. But you're gonna be with people that are in the similar situation as you, people that have been there, done that, and have a lot of real world experience to bring to the table. And a lot of times the professors understand that, so they really encourage peer-to-peer learning. One thing you also might like about the public affairs or administration masters is you actually do projects that have real life applications. So in the public affairs program I was in, the final project was to actually complete a basic consulting project for a local organization or business. So we would have, so a local business or organization would actually come in and pitch an idea to the students, and we would select which project we wanted to work on. And it was usually a project to help them become more efficient, more streamlined, and just operate better. So it actually had some actual real life consequences that we got to be a part of. But for me, what I really enjoyed from the program was the sharing of ideas and being with a group of professionals that came from a whole bunch of different experiences. But everybody is able to understand where everyone else was coming from. So in my cohort, there were 25 people from all walks of life. Some were rising professionals in their 30s, and others were people in their 50s that wanted experience so they could become more active in politics or become a better, more productive member of their PTA or school board, or just become more invested in their community and have those leadership skills to be able to do that. So before you start looking into schools, though, or programs, you mentioned you wanted to be in specific fields. So what I would, really encourage you to do is take some time to write down what skills you have, what field you want to be in, and see what skills you already have that fits those, and then find out what skills you still need, because that can help you narrow down your search. You also want to consider your goals, not just professionally, but personally as well. Is it just to make more money and have a little bit more of a steady job? Or is it to find something you're passionate about? Or is it a mix of both? Is it to, find a possible degree or a job eventually that allows you to be flexible? Or is it a job that you're looking to really dedicate a large portion of your life to and kind of rise through the ranks and become like a VP or something like that? And then also consider, too, the toll it's going to take on your family. So, the thing I really liked about the MBA program that I was in, we only met once a month on a weekend. So, the rest of it was all on your own time. So, it was built for working professionals that had families. Some programs, that general master's programs, you might have to go to class 3 or 4 times a week, and I don't, you said you're in your late 30s, so I don't know if that means you have a family, or you're thinking about having a family, or you have other obligations. How is that going to affect all the other commitments that you do have? So you kind of have to think about what you want to prioritize and how much what you want to sacrifice in the short term to get what you want in the long run. And then there are certificates you can take, but to be honest, certificates are really for people that already have some experience in a specific field and want to, boost their chances for getting, a promotion, or sometimes they need a certificate to keep that job or whatever. But if you're looking to transfer into a completely different field, a certificate's not really it might help a little bit. But if you're going to spend the money on getting that certificate, spend a little bit more and just get the full-blown master's if you can. One thing, again, I would really suggest, and I encourage a lot of people to do this, is possibly try to volunteer for an organization that does similar work to gain some experience. Now, with business analytics and, statistics, there may not be a lot of things to do in that realm for volunteering, but you never know. You can always find out. If when you look into different volunteer opportunities. But I always encourage volunteering in general, just because it's going to help keep your network up. It's going to help you keep your your connections strong, and then you're also going to it might help you find opportunities, because a lot of times people that volunteer are able to connect with other people that are professionals, and they may be able to point you in the right direction on places that are hiring and things like that. So I really, really encourage you to do that. And then again, try to find out what transferable skills you have and see if they match up with any jobs that you want. So you may not need to go back to school. Reach out to people on LinkedIn or Recruiter and Headhunter sites to see what they say about your resume. It could be that you just need to change how you're presenting yourself. One thing a lot of people do is they underestimate the skills that they already have. I mean, you already do have a bachelor's degree, so that's gonna get you in the door. You already have a lot of experience that of doing things for a long period of time. In certain whatever it is. So use that to your advantage. So. You don't really seem super devastated and desperate to leave your current job, but just kind of more blah or maybe stuck in a rut. So you can kind of take your time to figure out what you want to really do. So, some simple key things to remember is consider your career goals. Consider what you want in a job versus what you don't want in a job. Consider how much a degree will cost versus what are your potential earnings after you complete it. And what I mean that too is don't look at, kind of the extreme range. One thing that a lot of people do is they look at the extreme, and a lot of colleges are really bad about doing this, is they'll say, our graduates have the potential to earn, $100,000 after they complete this degree. Well, that might be only, 1% of the people that actually, complete the degree actually get that amount of money, but they kind of market it like that's kind of the standard. Find out what the average of that potential earning is, what you're most likely to make, and then you can kind of weigh your return on investment. And then look at how quickly you can find a job in that particular field. Some fields are really booming right now, and others just aren't. Whether it's because of what's going on in the world with the virus and all that stuff, and then other just industries are changing. So you kind of got to figure out too, if you go back to school and you take 2-3 years to finish a degree, kind of see what the trends of that field are going to be in 2 to 3 years when you graduate. And then another thing I really recommend doing is checking out websites to get an idea of, go to Monster or Indeed and then look up jobs that you're interested in, and then take a look at the job descriptions that are listed there and the salaries, and see if those actually match up to what you want. In the meantime, talk to a career counselor at a university about, your different options. See if the school can even provide that. Because maybe what they offer isn't even what you really want. So they also be able to give you an idea of how much it's going to cost, how much work is going to be involved, how much, work you're going to have to put in time-wise and all that stuff. So anyways, I hope this helps a little bit. If you'd like to chat more, please let me know. I'm more than willing to listen and talk through things. In any case, I wish you the best of luck. I hope it all works out well for you. In that case, I guess we will just talk to you later.